Welcome. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in to try to figure out some more about these dogs. And something I want to talk about today, and it comes down to something that I've realized that how I am. And this is where, for me, at the end of the day, why I don't want many people to really look at my dogs too much. Just listen to what I'm saying. Because what I do with my dogs comes down to a comment that I want to talk about. And this is who I am and what I'm about. And this is going to be a video maybe for one person, maybe for two people. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make sure I can say something to at least someone today, one person today. And I'd be interested in seeing a video about your mindset and methods for ultra marathon training coincided with dog training and the attitudes for similar success. This is why, for me, at the end of the day, my stuff is, I don't want to put it like this in a way that I'm trying to brag or say anything. Because when a lot of people see my dogs, they're always like, you got some pretty nice dogs. And the main thing that I'm going to say with that is because I do stuff. I get stuff done. Like today, we got a whole new scene. And I thought it was going to be challenging for this dog to have baby rabbits or bunnies. I'm not sure what they're called. I think they're called rabbits. But I think bunnies are pets and rabbits are for different purpose. These are for different purpose. Hopefully next year, this will multiply like crazy to the point that I got food for the dogs now. You know, I'm trying to switch them to a rabbit base because they seem to really like this rabbit over the chicken. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And that comes down to something I want to say right now about me. I'm like seeing my dogs have an issue with something, such as the chickens at first. The dogs are trying to chase it and go crazy. This specific one, I mean all of them, but this specific one like wild. So what did I do? I gave her and I got her around it, and I would just work that. I noticed that this dog is obsessed with rabbits and it's the rabbits over the squirrels. Squirrels would get her, but the rabbits would get her to like she would get in drive. She will go wild. And I was just saying, looking at myself, we breaking the bench now. See, it was too much weight, girl. And I was just seeing to myself of like, I want to get some around here so that she could just be around them, so that she could just be calm with them. And there will be a time that I could slap the harness on and say, let's go chase it, let's go get it, but also the time of chill. And I, in reality, want to start with the calm part of it first before I get into the wild part of it, so that she knows what she's about to get into. And this is for me. This is just the extra that I do. Like, I go crazy in reality at the end of the day with some stuff that I do, mainly because of me. I just, for one, want to experience more of this world. This is why I go deep into doing these longer and longer races over just a 3-mile race, the 5Ks, the 10Ks that everyone does, because I just want to do something that like not everybody is doing. And just to get that experience of like, what's all this about? What's going to happen? What does it take to be able to get to that point? What does it take to get to that level? What does it take to get a dog to be able to just be cool with anything and everything and being able to go everywhere without being a person that's living on the streets? To be able to have what I see somebody have. What does it take to get something that you perceive, you look at, you're like, wow, that's nice looking. But what does it actually take to get there? And that's the thing with me of realizing that a lot of what we see that we think that we want, the amount of work behind it is extreme, that you're not really wanting to put that work in. So right now I want to say something to go a half off of what I was just saying, because I'm just flowing with what I got to talk about right now. And that's the concept of realizing what you're willing to do is what results you should see back from that. What more that you're willing to put in, you're going to see more results. The less that you put in, the less results that you're going to get. That's why for me, it's easy for me to train and do what I do, to run these races that people, like, I don't just run the road races. I do the trail stuff. It's much more complicated. And because of that, I enjoy that more. But not only because it's more complicated, I enjoy it more. It's just a different type of experience. The more that I'm like trying to force myself to do it, the more I don't want to do it. But the more I just get it done and make it happen. Today, I might run like today. I ran 5 miles. I didn't know I was going to run that. I woke up with this feeling of, I'm a little lazy today. I got in the van. I got the dog out to get out to go for a run. I'm kind of like, I looked at the dog. She's like, let's skip the even run today. Let's just walk. But I just got to running. And then once I get to doing something, I realize like I want to do a little more now. So I go with the method of, man, something I was just talking to someone with their dog right now, is zero expectations of what's about to happen right now. I'm just going to go out there and do and just see what happens. See what comes from it. See what I'm about to make happen. Because in reality, on that run today that I was like, I don't know, I'm actually outrunning this dog. I was like, I thought that you were going to like outrun, but I got to the point that I was like, this is really nice. This is what I see is really rewarding. And that's what I realized with these dogs. The more that I keep interacting and doing stuff, and the doing stuff part, again, isn't like just let's sit, let's down, let's do none of that, but just literally hanging out with the dog. The more that for me, like doing stuff is I'm trying to fix my electric fence wire, and something's jamming it up. And yesterday we spent hours. So I just have dog with me, and all my dogs with me at the end. In reality, even my Pyrenees is with me. We're all out just walking, just doing stuff, just making stuff happen. The more that I see things get better and better, and in reality, faster and faster. Ophie, the faster and faster things just start to become. And the faster and faster that things start to become, the more that you're in that stage of like, I like what's going on now. And then the other things that you thought were like complicated and hard, you realize start to get better and better and better. Because what I'm looking for even right here is for these guys all to just chill out. I don't know why that one's just hanging in the fence. He got a death wish, I guess. But they're all gonna hang out because we're all gonna hang out. When we're all calm, these guys are all gonna be calm. And I'm balancing everything based on what's going on here. And that's how I, in reality, approach pretty much everything in this world. I gotta be calm to get into it. If you're like training for something, you're working at something, you want to do something, and you're getting into it all frantic, you're gonna burn out, you're gonna get tired. But if you're calm, you're gonna think it through. You're gonna be able to process what's gonna happen. If you get all the thoughts away of what ifs and what coulds and just do, you're gonna realize like, wow, that wasn't that challenging. That's how I train for everything on this planet. That's how I train my dogs. I don't want to get up and have to this right now. But you know what? I just stop that thought and I just get up and I just do. And then I realize I'm doing more and more and more now. I'm getting in a better and better and better place. I was just watching and studying all the dogs. Again, I thought that she would be the challenge one with these bunnies here, but it's actually Johnny that's like, he's like wild right now. He is in a downstay right now. I did tell him to down. But if I let him up, I don't even want to show it right now. He's just gonna mess the video up. But the dude is like jumping on top of the cages and stuff. And I'm like, we gotta just sit in this. But that's the difference of where I can say my relationship is with certain of my dogs is at a way better place than others that I can convince him in a down, and he understands what I mean by that today without it being hostile anymore. We're not in a hostile stance. He may not approve of it because he wants to be able to just chase, but we got to calm down first. Once we're calm, then we can do a chase pursuit. Then we can go into something further. It's fascinating that this one and the bunnies, they tap noses and literally lick each other. It's an interesting experience that I'm just seeing with the more that I just keep doing. The more that I'm just seeing where I have a trouble issue and I don't just run from it, but I just dig right into it. I got a trouble issue with a dog chasing after bunnies. I said to myself, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna do it and not get in my mind of like, it's just a lost cause. And this right here, the chicken, granted, I've only had him for like 3 days yet, but the chicken, this is it for us having, this is why I'm testing personally my own stuff and testing more to be able to help someone else out. Because the chicken is hard to get. Most neighborhoods, you can't have them. I mean, the females, they're loud. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now. They still bick and burk and hunk and make noises and they're loud. So you can get an eviction notice if you live in an HOA that says you're not allowed to have them. But this is fascinating because there's always like, this is why people get quail, but quail are also loud. They make noises, they chip and chirp and make sounds. But the bunnies, these guys are silent. They're almost creepy quiet. And they're so chill. They don't need a lot of space. They're actually doing the best with being in a smaller space. I see them calm down more and more because I've had them in there and I'm like, there's just too much area. And where I got them from, they had a bigger space and they were always just hanging out in the corner anyways. So they're a very different animal. But they're an animal to get your dog to be able to get around, to be able to just get all of that excitement out. And at the end of the day, they are pretty cute little things. And you could just keep it as a pet. And a lot of these you can actually keep inside of your homes. So this is stuff that I'm just testing to see like how to be to get our dogs in a better place. But that's just something again of what it is that I do. I just do. And I don't complain. And I just make it happen and I get into it. That's something that a lot of us are struggling with, where we get in our thoughts of I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that. But then you're expecting what I'm gonna say is results without doing something. We gotta do something. This is the part where there's gonna be better people that have better stuff in the future in reality. The more that you just do and get done, the better your stuff is gonna be and it's gonna make happen. But the more you just, I'm too tired, put the TV show on right now and just sit and do nothing, that's just expect that that's what you're gonna get. Sit down and nothing. That's what you're gonna end up getting. And that's where I'm gonna say one of my big things that I say is sit with your dog and do nothing. Yes, but also at the same time, if your dog is freaked out of other dogs, you gotta get up and do something with doing nothing with that. You can't just completely ignore it and think that magically one day my dog's gonna get better. You can't just take your dog out and it's wanting to bark at everybody and just, oh, I'm just gonna not do that anymore. And maybe in 5 years things will be better. That's just not the way it works. You gotta get up and do nothing, but you gotta do something. And that's something that challenges a lot of us. But for me, at the end of the day, it's kind of fairly simple because I've been doing it over and over and over and over and over again. I've been making it happen. That's why for me, most of my dogs, especially like my border collie, someone was asking me about this. This is my recommendation right here of what to do with the puppy. What do you want to do? And get that dog with you all the time doing that. If you're traveling, your dog should be traveling with you this second right now. Stop petting them. Stop praising them. Stop giving them treats. Stop doing anything. If you see that the dog starts to get nervous, and just stand there and be with the dog. Don't pick the dog up, because I know puppies are easy to pick up. This is where we're ruining the dogs and getting them to be fearful and not able to be able to process through. Just hang out with the dog, have the dog with you, and take the dog everywhere that you go. That's why my border collie, it took a little bit for my Johnny to get cool with the van riding everywhere. He used to bark at people and he used to be crazy in the van. But my border collie is perfectly fine, because since day one that I got him, he was riding with me everywhere. I mean, the dude still today, we go to the grocery stores. He don't go in the store, but he comes with me. He goes everywhere with me. He's always with me. And he's a nice dog. And that takes me to have to like rearrange my schedule and do something and have to just make it happen and have no choice but to make it happen. And that's where I find that I start to see more and more and more success. The same way I have with Oreo. All done. All done. You can chase the free chickens. I don't like you chasing the cage. I'll let you do some of my meat birds sometimes, but not these. Meat birds don't pay attention to you. But these guys are all conscious and aware and studying and staring at you. That sounds messed up, because I just know that meat birds are a very interesting chicken. They're not like in this world. They're just in the world. They're not chicken anymore. But we're constantly doing stuff. We got to get up and we got to do stuff. And that's the thing that's slowing most of us down. Is like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough, is what your language may be. But the main thing that I think that we're thinking that we're not doing enough is because we're not like doing the dog training stuff, to like the sit, the down, all these things, all this stuff. That's not what, at the end of the day, people, I don't see the benefit. I'm working dogs all the time. He has it because of school. I'm working my other dogs. We don't do zero obedience, and I don't find myself needing it. My obedience cue that I always say to all my dogs to get them to even come to me with their head, I just say, wait. They understand wait. I say wait, or you can say whatever word you use, stay. And they just stand in place. They do what they do. If we stand and hanging for a while, they just automatically do what I'm looking for. Stuff just happens. I don't need to like train and teach it to them. They just start to do it. That's where I'm going to say the beauty of these dogs. They're just fascinating, very, very fascinating. But when we're putting all that pressure of like, I got this, as opposed to just being with the dog and going places with the dog, hanging out with the dog. Stop thinking I need to train the dog how to walk a perfect walk to be able to get the dog to go for a walk. That's where we're going to start to struggle, because you're not allowing your dog to be able to get through the fears it has its own and just go out into the world and just realize that the world is fine. Especially the younger the dog is. The more that we're just, oh, you're nervous and you're trying to, oh, it's okay, baby, it's okay. You're doing all that to it. You're in the end of the day, just straight up how I want to say it, is destroying that dog. You're going to end up with that, what looks like a reactive dog today. But the main thing is we have to do. And the thing is, you may not want to do it, but you have to get up and you have to do. You may not say, I don't have an hour today to be able to go to the park, to be able to hang out, to be able to just sit. Just sit. What I do with my videos every single day is the most ultimate level of what I want to say is dog training for all of my dogs, especially on the days that I just bring her out here and just have her where I'm just sit and hang out. I allow her to just see the world, see the environment, see the birds, hear the sounds. There's these I don't know what those things are called, bugs in the trees, seeing stuff, just hearing the noises, everything going on. This is the ultimate form of what I'm going to say is to be able to get your dog to be able to be a very, very nice dog. Is allow them to just be in the mix of it all. Ophi, you can get a sniff in, but you're getting a little crazy. Can't get too crazy. Being this is the ultimate of what I see on how my dogs just keep getting better and better and better. And it's literally doing nothing. I'm not like giving treats. I'm not making her sit. I'm not making her down. I'm not doing any of this stuff. But I'm doing a lot right now by just being here and just hanging out and just relaxing. Man, even the bunny's getting you, Shadow. It's because everyone else is looking at him. The bunny's getting all the dogs all a little excited right now. Like, what's going on? But this is the ultimate right now. And this is how you're able to get the dogs to be really, really nice in the end, is by just being with them, taking them places, doing stuff with them. But not at the end of the day, the main thing I'm going to say is I believe that's really just messing a lot of us up is the extra obedience stuff that we're trying to do to the dogs. You want a well-behaved dog, a dog that is well socialized to the world dog. You want a dog that is understand its boundaries of the world dog. Not a dog that sit is sit, down is down, everything is this. Because when I say, Johnny, okay, let's just see what he does. Johnny, okay. Johnny, you so zoned in, you didn't even listen to me right now. I feel you. We'll just see what he does. But the moment that they're you release them of everything. That's the moment that things just start to get wild and start to get crazy. That's why I want the dogs to be able to be in. Y'all see how sensitive she is with this leash at this point? I just gave her a light little tug, and you saw she's like, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong. So what's going wrong right now?" And they just start to get there when they're calm. When she's calm, this is how I want her to be: is calm. So when they're calm, they're in the world. They're able to hang out. They're able to do what they do. We're able to effectively communicate to them. And this is the main thing that I want all the dogs to be able to do without me having to put a specific to rule of them. And she is unfortunately just on leash just because I'm trying to get her to the main thing, the language that I want to use right now with this leash with this dog is she needs to bond to me. She's already bonded somewhere else. She's already grew up and lived with someone else. She's already knows someone else. We're like my border collie, I got him. This guy back here, I got him. Johnny, I did the same thing with to let him get to me so that he understands me now. He learns me. He's gonna break that old bond that he's got over there and she's got over there, and she's gonna come and she's gonna be with me. She needs to learn me, understand me. I don't want to have to say Ophi, 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 and she doesn't listen to me. Where now I say that and she's like, "Oh, what's up, man? How we're going?" So we're getting more in tune with each other. She's listening to me, understanding me, no longer like waiting for someone else to be able to call her name and her to go there. That's what I'm talking about when I'm building this bond by keeping this dog with me on this leash. I want to say her name. I don't want anyone else to come up here and say her name. I don't really care with this dog in specific, but to say her name and she goes running over to you, but I want her to just be with me. And I have to break off what used to be there and bring to me what's here. And that takes doing stuff, being with them, interacting with them, hanging out with them, introducing them to new places, as many new places as absolute possible. And even if you got a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, who knows how old the dog is, you got out of the shelter, you want to take that dog to as many places as absolute possible. I mean, if you could dang near get your dog into the zoo, you want to get your dog to the zoo. You want to take your dog everywhere. The zoo might be a little overboard for some dogs if they ain't ready. But you want to take your dog to places and do stuff with your dog. Hang out, run with your dog, walk with your dog, take your dog with the bike with you, take your dog to the lake with you, take your dog to the river. Be safe, obviously. You don't want, if your dog don't know how to swim, and I've been in the current once that actually pulled her away. It was only like I think it was only 4 feet deep, and she started floating away. I had to run down and run in and go and grab her. But just be careful, obviously, with everything. You're taking Ophi. Yeah, we're good. This is what happens when you get too many going, then they all start going. This is what I'm trying to not do. But everyone's just gonna see a real world a situation right here that I just deal with. This is just what I do, and this is what I want to explain to everyone. Things aren't perfect. Things aren't always gonna look good. Things aren't always just set up that you're gonna go there and everything's gonna be chill. I seriously thought that she would be going way more wild right now than what my Johnny is. My Johnny's the one that I gotta sit out here for probably another 3 more hours just to get him to be like, we're good, man. We're good. Everything's cool. I don't know what it is here with the newness, but it's just the newness. And I want them to be able to relax. And this is the thing that I just constantly keep doing with everything in my day to day is I'm getting out, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it and I'm doing it. And I don't care how I'm feeling in the moment. I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to cancel those thoughts of I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. I'm just going to get up and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not going to give myself an option to just say, I don't feel like it today. That's the difference between like an elite athlete compared to an average person compared to, I don't like using this word, but it makes it simple, a lazy person. An elite athlete is going to go up, they're doing. Their knee hurting, they running. Their shoulder hurts, they running. They ribs are hurting, they running. They still going and going. They do it regardless. They make it happen. They don't care. They're following through. I don't care what's going on. I don't care that I'm sad. I don't care I lost a job this week. They get up. They still do it. They still get stuff done regardless of what's going on. And they stay consistent with that no matter what. That's where there's elite people on this planet. And that's not normal in reality. That's not like everybody. The average is we get a little in our feelings where we're just like, well, I'll do it here. I'll do it there. You start to think too much into it. So your consistency of like 7 days a week, where my consistency with working my dogs is 7 days a week. I'm doing something of hours type situation with all these dogs 7 days a week. I don't take a day off. And when you run into that scenario, your stuff is going to end up being a little bit better. But if you're on that lazy side, you take your dog for a walk out in public once a week and you don't do anything with them, but just leave them in the house and don't make anything happen, just know that it's going to take, if never get there, your dog's just gonna look what you're putting into it. And that's the end of the day, how everything is kind of easy for most of us to be able to just see like what's going on this planet. You could tell this is why it's easy for me to when I'm helping people work with your dogs. I could tell what you've been doing. I could tell if you've done anything since Ophi. I can tell if you've done anything based on how the dog is looking. If you say to me, if I'm saying, hey, can you walk them for 5 minutes every day? And you don't walk them every day for 5 minutes, I can see that. Because the dogs show that. They're not like, they're easy to read. And they show that. And they show what's going on. And if you're doing more, you're going to see that your dog is going to be a much, much nicer dog. But if you're doing way, way less, it just is what it is. And that's what you're going to end up with. That's why, still, again, at the end of the day, like a real nice dog, a homeless person's dog, is going to look real good because how much work and how much are they engaging and how much are they doing with that dog in a day? Dang near 24/7. So they're always like kind of like, we're this, we're this, we're this, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here, we're making this happen, we're making this happen. But sometimes some of those dogs are going to end up in a very negative situation because of they're stuck with them 24/7. So now the dog doesn't know how to be on its own. But still, at the same time, I see a lot of these dogs being pretty cool because the dogs they're not getting too much coddling when they're scared. We're just here, we're just dealing with it. We're just making it happen. And that's what the dogs need. So for us, if you're spending 15 minutes a day with your dog, and you're because the main thing is you don't need to be like doing anything. You just need to be knowing that we're here. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you, girlfriend. We're here. We're here. We're doing stuff. Just being together. Actively saying I'm actively doing stuff with you right now. I may not be paying 100% attention to you, but we're doing this right now. The more time that you spend doing that, the better and better and better that your dog is going to start to become. Because the more and more and more that your dog is going to start to be more in tune with you and start to pay more attention to you. As opposed to being just running off and just licking itself in the corner and not really looking at you, not engaging with you. Oreo, all done. Not engaging with you, not doing anything. And that's where you're going to run into the situation that the dog it doesn't listen to you. Because why should it? We're not doing anything together. But the more stuff that you do with your dog, or just hanging out with the dog, the more that the dog is going to want to do for you. Because that's all the dog wants to do in the beginning anyways, is stuff for us and be with us. And that's the part where it's easy for me. Because I have that style of we're doing it. We're making it happen. I'm tired? Okay. Well, if it means I'm tired, it's going to take me 15 minutes to get this dog tired to do what I need to do today. I'm going to take that 15 minutes, get a little more tired, but then realize in the middle of that 15 minutes, it ended up being 45 minutes because it was actually way more exciting than I thought it would be in the beginning anyways. And that's the concept of we just have to start, get up, and just do. And for me, that's just what keeps getting things. Ophi, Johnny, get down. See, these guys are way smarter than chickens. They know that they're safe in there already, and they're willing to come up to the fence like that. That's pretty impressive. These bunnies are something interesting to see, but they already too big for dinner size. But these are all my breeder ones, so I just got half off topic because things just got a little wild out right now, and I can't let things just keep going too much. That's why we got to be calm. If we ain't calm, we ain't going nowhere. If we ain't going nowhere if we all excited because it's not going to be anything of any sort of value. I got to calm everything down. And that's the main thing I want a lot of people to really just understand about everything in life. If you ain't not calm, you're not getting nothing done. And if you get something done, it's going to be very short-lived because you're going to run into a scenario that you're overwhelming yourself. And you're overwhelming yourself and you're not going to be able to last as long. And not being able to last long, you're just going to start to quit because you're not basically at the end of the day seeing results. And that's why for me, coming down to me being a runner and what I do, I don't put no expectations out. I just do it. I just make it happen. I'm not trying to be an Olympic athlete, and if I happen to get there, then cool. But that's not my goal. My goal is just to do something. And by doing something, I realized that things just started getting better and better in my life. And then when I started just incorporating the dogs to do stuff more with, I noticed that they just start to get better and better and better. And then I just realized that I'm just going to do it and not care about being tired, not care about needing to be happy, not caring about any of that, but just doing it anyways. That things start to just amplify. Who cares if you're tired? You got to do something. Do something. Do anything. Make something happen. And stop the thoughts of I'm tired, because that's what's stopping you and slowing you down from actually doing anything and making anything happen. And that's where how I am with everything that I work with these dogs is I'm constantly testing, trying, and figuring out what I can do to be able to, for one, help not only just my own self out, but to help someone else out. That's why I'm constantly testing and trying and making things happen, because I realized the stuff that my dog training stuff was saying to do wasn't giving me any real results. It was giving me like a fake TV show, just fakeness, stuff that appeared to be good. because that's what I'm doing. I could say right this second with Johnny in specific. It's just getting wild. I'll do this later on, not because I can't. I can focus on multiple things, but it's too much. If I focus on him doing what he's doing, my mind's gonna get scrambled from saying what I got to say right now. So I put the TV show on. I was telling him to get down. Hey, it looks good. It looks pretty. But as soon as I say Johnny, okay, that's when it goes back to the real stuff, the real chaos again. And the real chaos that's the loopholes of obedience work with dogs. When I say down, everything looks pretty good right now, right? But as soon as I say free, as soon as I say okay, as soon as I allow him to do what he does, that's when the chaos starts. That's why I want to spend 99% of my work with dogs in that free stance so that I'm able to get the dogs to be able to be calm. When the dogs are calm, everything is much, much easier to work with. Much, much easier. You can see he's Johnny, okay? Johnny. Once he gets to that point that everything is starting to become more neutral, it's not no crazy, crazy madness, then we can incorporate doing that next thing. Now I can do better and better obedience. And him now, he's just we're just too, me and Johnny are too much in tune that it kind of creeps me out a little bit. That he's just like, I'm just gonna remove myself right now. I tell him what to do, but he just knows that if he messes up right now in a way of the same mess up by getting too excited, then I'm just gonna tell him down again. So he's like, I'll just do it on my own. This is just what I appreciate with when I'm giving the dogs at the end of the day what they need. And what they need is a chance to be able to get, for one, an outlet. And that's why I'm testing and challenging and changing like different animals, different species, different stuff to be able to get the dogs to be able to just have a better experience. And I noticed one thing, the first moment that I brought these guys home, this dog started looking at me differently. All right, she looked at me differently. Not even in a sense that she thinks or knows that she's going to chase these guys, because she's not, because I don't need to lose them out here. These guys will be gone. But the fact that it was just like she had a need of like, I want to be able to get through these emotions that are going on in me, and I'm supplying that need for her, of giving her something that she could like look at to be able to say like, thank you. And that's how I see that she looks at me. She's like such I don't know why. Just this past few days, she literally has been a much nicer dog. I don't know why. All I did was add some bunnies to the property, and her recall is much better every morning. In the house, she's much more relaxed. Out here, she's just much more just prettier looking. It's like she now is getting her needs met by being able to see these guys get that out, get that expression out, and just like, okay, we're good now. I'm fine. I got it all out of me. And day by day, it'll get less and less and less. Now, so the big difference is right now she's on this collar. She knows that she can't chase. But let me put her in her harness right now, and I bet you see it. God knows what she's like, because this is what I'm working her to do. She's going to turn crazy. She's going to be pulling hard. She's going to be like, maybe even start barking. She's going to go wild because she knows that she's able to do that. So I'm fulfilling a need that's inside of this dog of knowing that she has to see something. She has to see this. This is in her drive to do. It's to move stuff, it's to chase stuff, it's to get stuff. And she's seeing in her life right now something that, Ophi, get off her tail, man, is he done took some fur from the tail, is going to be able to give her all of her needs met. She's like, you're giving me a complete cycle of everything going on in my life right here. And I'm giving that to her, and then she's going to look at me like, hey, buddy, you's a pretty interesting guy. Like you hooking me up with everything right now. And then that's what's going to give her that more appreciation. Johnny, you good, get up. Okay. And that's what's going to give her more and more appreciation. That's how like my border collie is. He's cool as all can be with me because he's got the cows, he had the goats, he's got the chickens. Now he's got these guys. He's got everything. He looks at me like, I'll whatever you say, I'll do. When I tell him all done, he's like, I'm finished. He don't even try to challenge it anymore. He's just like, I know I'm going to get my chance. It is what it is. And that's what, unfortunately, for some of us, we have to do with our dogs, because they have a drive, they have a need, they have something that they have to do. And that's for us to have to figure out, to be able to do more, to be able to get what it is that we need. And it's just a matter of testing and trying and continuing to keep on going and going and going. That's why some people at the end of the day are going to have things like mine. I'm going to put on what I say when I see my dogs and when I see other people and when I see some other folks do with their dogs. Ophi, you figured out the whole tail thing. Now you're going to try to nibble on these tails all the time. But when I see my dogs, what I'm able to do with them, what I see other folks do, I'm not even average. So if we're on a scale of 1 to 100 and the average is right at 50, I'm going to put myself at about a 35 to a 40 maybe, right around there. That's when I see my dogs, what I do with my dogs, how my dogs react, how my recall is with my dogs. That's about where I'd put myself with what I see. I don't care to be on that higher end of the curve in reality. Just me personally, it's just my life. I don't care. It's a calm, it's a relaxing, it's a simple life to live. To just at the end of the day, this is gonna sound so messed up, but it is what it is. So just be an average person. It's so simple of a life to live. It's so enjoyable. There's no like pressure of like everything's got to be so perfect and so right and so precise. And when everything needs to be perfect, you're putting like extra stress and extra stuff out there that just doesn't need to be there. But when I just see mine, that's just what I see with what I work with. And that's what I would want everyone to, how I have and what I speak with my dogs to be able to have. I don't want this elite stuff because I want the real stuff. I want it to really be nice. Because again, I can say like now, Johnny, get down. I could do the same thing again. Oh, you're good, Oriole. Johnny, you get down. Yep, get down. You can come over here and do it. I don't care where you do it. Come over here and do it. Come here. Get down. I don't know why, but I'm satisfied with what just happened there. Someone would say to me, your dog is trash. It should have listened. It should have dropped to the floor instantly. And that's why for me, I'm not looking for that, because if I wanted that, something else is going to like take the hit, I guess I'm going to say. It's not just me. With me and my own self, because this is why even my running, I don't run alone. I run with dog. So me, if I do running myself, I could push myself. I could dig deep. I could do what I do. But when I'm working with something else, that's where things start to get complicated. And that's where I do not want to put that pressure that you got to be perfect. I'm happy with 35-40 with the animals. I'm happy right now of how he's laying down when I told him to lay down in the scenario that just happened there. I'm not angry about it. I'm not upset with it. I'm not like, this should be better. This should be more. We should be thriving for it. I'm just very, very satisfied with where I'm at with that. And that gives me a very, 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 very high level of comfort and safety with my dogs. I'm not nervous of what's going to happen. I'm not nervous they're going to take. I'm not nervous they're going to chase. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous of anything. I just allow things to be, and I realize that things are much, 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 much nicer. When I'm looking for that perfection out of something else other than myself, I'm headed to disaster. And then even if I'm looking for that perfection out of my own self, I'm headed to absolute disaster. And that's not what I'm looking for. And that's how it's very easy to get up and to continue to keep on doing stuff. Because that's why it's easy for me to be able to run 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 20 miles. It's easy because I'm not pressuring myself to do it. I just do it. I'm just like, I'll just do it today. Whatever. Let's just go out there and just see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's go do something. Let's go make it happen. And then we just keep getting better and better and better. That's how I noticed that this dog is getting better on my runs, because at first I was like, we got to do this. We got to do this amount of miles. We're going to this trail. We're doing this. And I just, one day, when I see that she's tired, we're done. Let's just walk. Let's hang out. Let's have fun now. And then every single day I notice that things keep getting better and better. Now when we go out, she has more of a drive. Like I can only take her by herself for good runs because it's too much for Kahi. But she's just like, let's go run right away. She's like, let's just do this, man. Let's just go. Because that pressure isn't there. We're just going to make stuff happen. We're just going to do stuff. And there's no need that it has to, you just do stuff just because. And that's the part where things get easy. And that's what I want to explain to as many people as absolutely possible. You gotta just do something. You gotta do it. Don't have no expectations that it's gotta be like this, it's gotta be like this. No, just do it, man. Just do it. Who knew what was gonna happen right now when I just set this up? I just said, let's just, straight up, let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what goes down. And I'm just gonna see what's happening, and then I'm gonna like, okay, assess the situation now. Now, clearly, if you're nervous of your dog running off leash, don't just obviously go to a field and just say, oh, we'll just figure it out. Clearly, we're adults here. If anybody leaves a comment on this video saying something like that, it's just child's play, man. Child's talk. I'm not a child around here. I'm a grown-ass man out here. That's one thing that I want a lot of people to just understand what I'm talking about with these dogs, is clearly put the leash on a dog and take it places. Put the leash on a dog and do stuff with the dog. Put the leash on the dog and be in and go and do anything with the dog. But don't think that I gotta like do this, just do stuff and see what starts to happen. Take your dog, put it on leash, take it outside and just follow the dog and see where the dog wants to take you. And see what the dog is sniffing at. See what the dog is looking at. See what the dog is doing. Is the dog sniffing and scared? Or is the dog sniffing in confidence? Is the dog sniffing in excitement? What is the dog sniffing for? What is the dog looking for? What is the dog doing? So that you can just start to do stuff with that dog, to start to give that dog what that dog is needing and looking for, and you're gonna find a way better life on this planet. And it comes down to just doing. And again, when I say do nothing, I'm saying do nothing by giving them treats to get them to sit, giving them treats to get them to get in the car, giving them treats to even sit here right now. I don't even think a treat would work right now with what I got going on. I'll give them a treat and they're not going to pay attention to that. They're going to be like, oh, there's a bunny. Who cares about that stupid freeze-dried bunny? There's a bunny. There's a live one in my face. That freeze-dried doesn't work. That's why for me, I like being able to just show a little bit of stuff like that, just to give you real world understanding. You can't just treat your dog away from that. That's why I say stop doing that. Stop thinking that I can pet her out of this. I can pet her, and what do you think she's gonna do? She's gonna stare at Bunny, and I'm petting her, and I'm telling her, good job for looking at Bunny. Good job for looking at Bunny. Good job for looking at Bunny. So now watch, more likely, I don't want to guarantee some things, but more likely when I do this, she's gonna get more and more engaged. She's staring at Bunny. She's like, I like these pets though. I really like this right now. Look, this is I'm gonna say new for her. We'll just see what happens right now. She's gonna go absolutely crazy right now. If I just start petting her, she's all excited looking at that. I'm petting her, and she's just gonna start to just ramp up, 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 up. We're no longer calm anymore. Now we're running into a sticky situation because she's gonna be confused. What am I getting these pets for? What's happening right now? And she's gonna get more focused and more focused, and get more and more excited. I can feel it in her body already, getting more and more tense. She's like, she starts this fixations type stuff. So I don't want to touch her in this. I don't want to give her no treats. I don't even want to really talk to her and praise her in this while she's excited looking around. I just want to be here. I want to be here. I want to hang out. I want to relax. That's what I want more people to understand to do with your dogs. Take it more and more and more places and just hang out with them, because you don't know if they're excited. You don't know if they're scared. You don't know what's going on with them. Am I able to see that today with working with more and more dogs? Yeah, I'm able to recognize more. But to the average eye, of working with 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 dogs, you're not 100% sure, because I know how to help anyone with a reactive dog when you're scared. My dog is trying to bite somebody, because when I see you, this dog gets excited. When this dog gets excited, your dog is reacting because it's excited. It's not fear. It's not any of that. And I see a lot of that. I see the fear, but I see a lot of the excitement as well. So when I see that she starts to get excited, you're nervous, you're holy cow, and I'm like, no, you're fine. There's nothing to worry about here. Let's just stand here a moment and watch your dog calm down. Your dog calms down. Okay, now if you want the dogs to meet, do what they do, fine. But we got to be calm. When we're calm and we're out in places and we're doing stuff, that's what the dogs need, to be able to trust us, to be able to recognize us, to be able to just want to care and listen to anything that we have to say. We got to calm them down. And me just being here, I'll just be here. I'll be here. I mean, today I might cook outside today. I'm probably going to make something pretty tasty. But I might set the grill up right here and just hang out, just so that Johnny could just get through this. Get through this. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. He's the one that's struggling the most now. If he wasn't, she would be totally chill, because I was out here yesterday with her without him, and she just looked at him like, oh, these are just the cutest little things. Like excited, but like, we're fine. As you can see how she already starts to get, she's like, I'm fine. But he's the one that's just kind of going extra wild right now. So I got to work him through this, work him through this, work him through. He'll get through it. He'll get past it, and he'll finally just be able to be neutral at it. It'll end up getting there. Because especially, it's the chase that can get them a little extra, because they don't get to catch it, but they're right here. He'll get through this. He'll get past it. I'll have to get on him a little bit, because he's going to try to, I mean, they're all going to go inside this coop here. But so he won't be able to jump on the cages. But he might try. That's the only thing I say. Don't jumping on it, man. You might break my stuff right now. I don't need nothing broke. Just picked it up. Don't need nothing bent and broke just yet. Give me a couple years to break it down. But it's a matter of just actually making things happen. If you want a dog to be able to go on walks with, you need to start walking the dog. If you want a dog to run with, you need to start going places and slowly but surely introducing that to your dog. If you're traveling with your dog, you need to take the dog with you everywhere you go, everything that you do, so the dog can be able to get in tune with your routine. Stop worrying about, I gotta put this a level of obedience on the dog to be able to take the dog anywhere. That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna get your dog to be any better. In reality, it may make the dog worse and worse, because the dog is going to be expecting you to say something every 5 seconds, as opposed to the dog just doing what the dog is doing. That's why the main thing is I'm saying, like, say nothing and do nothing by touching, treats, any of that, because you don't want to have to keep giving them reminder after reminder. You want them to just be able to do. And that's what comes by just hanging out. And that comes by doing something. I don't care how tired you are right now. Do something. If that's just sitting in your living room, grab the dog, put on a leash, and just hang out with the dog. Do something, so the dog knows that you're doing something with it. You're actively in the middle of what's going on here. You don't have to go on 80-mile walks a day. You can just sit on your back patio and just hook the dog up with you and just hang out with the dog. Once the dog starts to just chill with you, then just let the leash go, take the leash away, and just have the dog there and hanging out with you. But letting the dog know that we're here. This is what we do. This is what we're doing right now. You're going to go out in the morning and drink your coffee, get your coffee, sit down and hang out with the dog, and this is what we're doing right now. We're just us time. We're making stuff happen, and then go to work and go do what you got to do. But the main thing is you got to, I don't know how to explain this in a simpler way, but I'm going to constantly keep on trying for the remainder of my life. But you got to get up and, like, expose your dog in stuff. You gotta get your dog around as many things as absolute possible. And you just being with the dog. Did you just grab her foot? Ophi. And you just being with the dog. I know, no, I'm going to fix this. It ain't going to be here anyways. But you just be with it so that the dog could just be able to see the world and be able to relax. Be around traffic. Be around bikes. Be around other dogs. Be around people. Be around everything. Be around wildlife. Be around everything. You want to take your dog as many places and put them in as much as absolute possible. That's what's going to give you a nice dog. And do nothing with that dog while you're there. Don't, I mean, straight up, don't even pet them at first up front. I can pet my other dogs and they're all fine today, but even her, I don't want to confuse what's going on. I don't know what she's thinking and what's going on with her. I don't want to correct her even. I want to get her to be pretty loose on this leash so that I can move her around like this, but she knows that I'm not like punishing her, I guess I could say. She knows I'm just, I don't know what word to use, but guide her out of that. But I don't want her to be confused about anything that's going on. I don't want to reinforce anything, and I don't want to take anything away. I want it to be very neutral, so that we're not getting into a stick. Because it's the number one thing we do when we see dog. We see dog get nervous, and we start to pet the dog. We start to pet the dog, and then we start to give the dog the treat, and it just makes the dog get worse and worse and worse. Unfortunately, it just doesn't help the dogs. So that's why I'm saying do stuff, go places with your dogs, but don't do anything with the dog when you're doing stuff with the dog. Just have the dog there and be there. Just have the dog be there. But like right now, she's getting hardcore into this, and I'm saying to her no, and she's doing that based off feeding off of his energy. So I'm going to pull her away from that, saying now I'm pulling you out of the situation because she's getting way too excited. So now I'm putting what I'm going to say is like the rules upon this. You're not just, I'm not allowing that right now, and that's for at the end of the day we got to keep everything safe. I can't just be ruthless. I can't just let her get hit by a car to learn not to get hit by a car. I can't allow the bunny, because these bunnies I didn't know they got nails. They got nails to just scratch her up. She may get a bite on it. I think it's hard for a dog to kill a bunny, personally. I've only seen a dog do it one time in my life. But these things, you gotta come at them on a surprise. You can't let them already know that you about to get eaten, because they'll scratch you. I've seen some videos of what these bunnies do to other bunnies. It's savage looking. But I got to keep everything safe. And this is it here. So she saw that. She gave me a little like, oh, no, I don't want to. So now I'm on top of her. She's like, I don't want to listen to you. But I'm not like restricting everything. I'm not saying we're getting out of here. We're doing nothing. No, you're just not doing that right this moment. And she'll respect that because I'm fair. I'm not being disrespectful to her. I'm being fair. I'm saying, hey, you're going too far. I gave you some freedom, and now you're just basically like pushing that. You're pushing it too far. And I'm being fair right now. Now, if she was scared, this is a different situation. I clearly would be further away. I wouldn't be right here in the middle of it. But that's where, again, we need to look at our dog and take our dog places to figure out what's going on with our dog. Thank you. You good? I appreciate that. As much as I like all my dogs to look so perfect, that's the hardest part I'm going to say about making videos, people. It's not a matter of what anyone's going to say too much. It's a matter of you want your stuff to look so right. And if your stuff don't look right, you don't want anyone to see it, because we don't want anyone to see like you got dirty laundry in the bathroom type situation. You want everything to look so perfect and so right. And that's the part where I want to start to change up what's going on in society. That not everyone's your stuff ain't perfect. Your stuff's not. And it's okay to not be perfect. And for me, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care if someone says, oh, your dog look like trash. You're sitting here trying to get at that bunny and you're trying to pull her back from that. I don't know why, but I don't care. Because I do know that the more and more I keep doing this, the more and more I'm not going to have to worry about it. Everything's going to be much, much better. I don't care that this dog is sitting here whining and getting a little wild, and I got to say down 3 times to him to get him to get down, because this is real life, people. You're not just going to fix your issues with your dog like magic like that. This is all day, every day for the remainder of the dog's life. Who knows how old this dog is, but we're going to be at this for a long time. And we're constantly going at this. It's not perfect. It's not. And that's kind of like the setup that I always want to be able to explain to everyone right away up front, is there's no such thing as perfection. Your dogs are going to give pushback. Your dog's going to listen. Your dogs are going to do something that you told them not to do. Such as this dude, like what, 3 days ago, he done this this is the part where I'm gonna say you teach your dog too many tricks. Things get complicated because he can open up cabinet doors and he can open up doors. The dude went, my trash is behind the cabinet door under the sink. It's out of the way, it's hidden. But he got it in him one day just saying, you know what? I'm about to go in there. And he opened that door up. The door was open wide, both of the doors. I was like, dude, you opened both the doors too? He opened both doors and pulled everything out. And I was just looking at him like, man, and that happens. That happens. Nothing's perfect. Stuff like that happens. And someone would say, you know, just crate the dog all day and whatever with that. But I'm just like, stuff happens, man. Stuff happens. It just happens. The one thing that I will say that I do with my dogs is I leave her in the bedroom and I leave him in the living room. I don't let them both hang out together in the house yet because she's new. Because stuff happens. This is the sketchy part right here. Johnny, go home. Go home. This right here is the sketchy part because Shadow's gotta keeps the animal safe. So the second that he starts going a little overboard is the second Johnny go home is the second that Shadow's now gonna get in the middle. And right there, Johnny tried to half a show teeth at go home. He tried to half a show teeth at Shadow, and this dog is no joke. He's not gonna play around with his animals. So that's where for me, I'm just like, I gotta be suspicious because I'm working stuff out here. This ain't no pet stuff out here. This dog, he better take care of business if something sticky goes on. But Steve is still right there. Again, nothing's perfect. And don't think that it is. And that's where we're getting sold lies to with watching these little videos and stuff. Because they're saying in 30 days, your dog's gonna be just, everything you say to a dog is gonna be just so beautiful. That's not real, people. That is not real at all. You're gonna be constantly working with these dogs, constantly working at stuff, constantly getting things to be able to get in a better place. That's what I want to explain to everyone. And the only way that you're going to be able to really get any sort of understanding is by watching your dog. This is mine. I hate putting it like that, but at the end of the day, it is. You're not about to take this dog. she's not even microchipped, but I might put a microchip like I did on my old Staffy of saying she's not for sale. She's not for adoption. She's mine. This is mine right here. She's staying with me. I'm going to do everything I can to give this dog the best life possible. And that's something that I need to watch her. I need to study her. I need to pay attention to her. And that's my job, is to watch this dog. Your job is to watch yours. Your job isn't to watch mine and try to replicate yours to do this. It's not going to. You're not going to be able to replicate what you see that I do with my dogs all the time. I do what I do. I'm a whole completely different, unique individual. This is a whole completely different, unique individual. We are two unique individuals getting together, and we are working and doing what we're doing. So this is where things get confusing, because someone will say, oh, your dog will be able to do like this. That's not true. Your dog is going to be able to do what your dog is capable of doing. And my dog is going to do what my dog is capable of doing. It'd be like me to get my Pyrenees to do downstays, sit stays from 5 miles away. That's not what he's about. It's not what he does. It's not anything about in his DNA to even care about. And someone would say that you'll be able to get that to be like that if you just follow these steps. That's not true. And that's what I want more people to really understand. You got to get up and go places and make stuff happen with your dog. But stop interacting with the dog when you're doing these things. If you see that the dog is excited, just get the dog to be with you. Soon enough, the dog will calm down. The dog is scared, get the dog places and just be with the dog. Soon enough, the dog will calm down. That's what you want your dog to be able to be in. It can be in a situation like this, and it's okay. Granted, this is extreme at the end of the day, but I like to just help people out to be able to, because this is how I'm able to fast track dogs. Put them around the pig, put them around the chickens, put them around the donkey, put them around the cows, put them around now bunnies, put them around all these things. And the dogs be able to just chill out, chill out, chill out. And then when they're calm, then I'm able to go pretty much anywhere on the planet. And we can fast track it by being able to have access to this right here so that she can spend hours in the presence of, Johnny, get out of here. Go home. Spend hours in the presence of, as opposed to if I go on the trails, I see one here and there, and I'm never able to like get her to get close to it. So it could take years to get her to be cool with looking at something like this. But since I'm able to do this, I can get through it so fast. I get through it so fast. That's what I want more people to just understand with the needs of your dogs and get it to them. This here is fairly simple to be able to get for anybody. And that's what I would want more people to just be able to understand of how to be able to get the real help that you're looking for with your dog. And it's simple, but you got to get up and you got to do stuff. That's the part about it that I guess is hard.